Hello, everyone. I want to share with you guys something about forgiveness and holding on to pain. A lot of us are holding on to pain. I think that everyone has some sort of pain, and it's not something that is on purpose. I know that that might not seem true, like, no, that person meant to hurt me, or those people are evil, those people are mean, those people are wrong. And there is evil, right? And I do that because it's really the distortion that we create in our own mind as the person doing the deed, the bad thing, and also as us, the observer or the respondent or the receiver of it, observing it and seeing it and calling it this certain thing. Because we also have to remember and understand, you guys, that the people on the other side that are doing these things, guaranteed 1000%, they are not happy. They are unfulfilled and they are hurting. They are lost. They are lost. When I was younger, I had some experiences that made me feel really confused. And I was very fearful of God. I thought that I was going to go to hell, that I was condemned, that I was a bad person. I feel like there was a lot of manipulation involved and a lot of unconscious behavior from very disconnected people. Disconnected from their source, disconnected from their light, disconnected from their love and all that they are. And you might say, well, how does that happen? If we all have this source, we all come from the source, if we're all, if God created all of us, then why are there these people that have that? I can't answer that exact question of why exactly these people are like that. But if you imagine this bubble or this ball of light, and everyone has this ball of light when we're born, and through time and experiences and things that happen to that ball of light, some of it becomes dimmed because of the experiences that they've had, the traumas that they've had, the hurt that they've experienced, the things that they've been conditioned to think about themselves, about the world, the unworthiness that they've felt from their own experiences with their own family, their own parents, their own people around them. So as that ball becomes darker, that's where the evil acts start to happen. That's where the hurt people starts to really happen. And unless they are aware of that, they almost don't even know what they're doing. They're unconscious of it. And that might sound so stupid and like, no, they know what they're doing. They're grown. But it's something that unless we're in their shoes, we don't understand their perspective at all. And I know that that's really challenging to hear. And it's not letting them off the hook. It's not saying what they did is okay. But it's just for you, purely, for you to let that shit go. For you to be able to walk away from that and no longer let that backpack of luggage, of pain and hurt be carried on your back. It's literally like carrying a 50-pound backpack forever. Imagine that. You would start to really be weighed down. You would become crippled. That is what we are doing when we hold on to things that have happened to us in the past. And the only way to let that go is to forgive. And the only way to forgive is to create a new story about what is happening. Because the story that a lot of the times we have or we hold is this story of this very painful, very hurtful, every time I go to that place or think about that thing, I feel betrayed, or I feel hurt, or I feel like I wasn't good enough, or I feel like I wasn't loved. And so just imagine sparking that match I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, nobody cares about me, I wasn't honored, I wasn't respected, I was taken advantage of, I was abused. Like, that becomes your life. That becomes your identity. That becomes who you are. You bring it with you. And no one's going to take that away from you. No one can. So you can carry that with you. But I know that it's holding and weighing you down. And it's making you feel heavy. So I'm sharing this video with you because through experience myself, and it's not this one and like done process, it's continual healing after that. It's almost like if you have a cut and you don't want to go get it treated, but it's an infection and it's kind of spreading now, and maybe it's like getting really big, and that's when you're finally like, okay, fine, I'll go get checked or treated. And so you go and get checked and get treated, and that's you like letting go, right? Forgiving, like deciding, okay, fine, like let's go get this checked out. Let's start the process. And then you coming home and not taking the antibiotics and not taking care of it, letting it get dirty, letting it get infected again. And it's just continual like pain, and continually digging into that, and continually just letting it hurt you and affect you, when you could take that medication or you could take those steps to help you get better. And it's going to take time, and then you'll have scarring, and then through that scarring you might have to do some processes to heal that as well. But then even after that, maybe you're going to get some topical lotions, or even like a little self tanner, or maybe you'll get a tattoo over it, or maybe like there's so many things. And that's just like an example that I kind of came up with right now. But I want you to think about that. Like, through my experience, it was like, okay, fine. Like, I'm just gonna, I need to first of all talk to these people. And maybe you don't even get to talk to them. But even when I talked to these people, it was not a like, oh, this is why this happened, because they don't know. All they said was like, I'm sorry. And there's a lot of shame, obviously. And at that age, I was around like 27. I'm 30 now. This literally just happened like 3 to 4 years ago, when I finally said, okay, like I need to close this chapter of my life. I need to let this go. And so I didn't get the, I guess, closure or the clarity that I was looking for. But then I did, because it was like seeing that they were in pain. And it's like that, you know, whatever people do to you, like that's their burden to carry. And even that, people fucking make mistakes. We all have. And it could be really, really, really bad in some people's eyes, but there's always like, it could always have been worse too, right? And I'm not dimming what happened to you or saying that you shouldn't be upset or bothered, but I'm telling you that the moment that you decide to let that shit go, you can start to heal. You can start to heal. But the moment you keep on holding it on, you are literally picking that scab. And you're bleeding, and it's gushing, and it's just hurting so bad. But yet you want to feel good so much. And you want to live your life so bad. And you want to feel free and alive. But you can't, because this is just draining you energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically. Don't let that wound take over everything that you have come here to create and experience. And that wound can absolutely 1000% be transmuted into fuel. It can spark this fire in you to say, you know what? That made me so fucking strong. And that brought me to this point in my life right now. And it taught me how to have compassion for the world, for everyone, and to forgive. That takes a really strong person to forgive. And if you can do that, you can do anything. If you can get through what you went through and be here now and decide to move forward with your life and heal and allow people in your life to love you and allow yourself to trust again and allow yourself to be open to receiving love from other people, the world, God, the universe, Christ, Jesus, Mother Teresa, whatever saints you adore, like whoever. Like, we talk about these concepts of faith, but yet how much do we actually let that love pour into us without feeling like we're not good enough or there's something wrong with us? That something wrong and not feeling good enough is coming from the trauma and the pain that you went through. And again, in order to heal and not let that bring you down and block you from leveling up and advancing into this light of love that is always here for you and guidance that is always here for you, because you're staying in that mode of not feeling good enough and not being lovable and something being wrong with you because people are taking advantage of you, or that's just what people do, or you can't trust anybody, or the world's against you. It keeps you there because you're holding on to the pain and the anger and the rage and the hurt. You can't have both. So the first step that I would take is to declare to yourself that this is a new moment and that you have a choice, and empower yourself to make a choice, to tell yourself that I don't know how exactly I'm going to forgive or what that process looks like, but I know that I want to feel good. I want to take care of my heart. I want to connect with my soul. And I want to live my life. So I'm opening that door. And so it is. And you don't have to say anything to anybody. You don't have to do anything. It's just opening up your heart to something new, to a new experience, to being able to let that go, and recognizing when you are, and recognizing new opportunities to heal and advance in your spirituality, in your connection, in your processing emotions, in maybe it's a book that'll pop up, or an article that'll pop up, or somebody that'll kind of come into your life, or a video that'll pop up, or a conversation that you'll have, or an idea to write something down. And then that thing will lead to another thing. It's going to be these little micro, mystical, amazing signs that come to you in pieces, but because you open that door of possibility, so the healing goes. But if we continually decide, nope, I'm pissed, I'm angry, I'm never gonna let it go, I can't trust anybody, I don't like anybody, I can't, trust anybody, I can't let my guard down, then that's also something we continue to open the door to. And so more like things are going to come into our lives like that affirm that. I hope this video resonated with you, and I'm sure that it did if you're still watching. If you know anyone that can benefit from this, please send this video to them. And let me know below what was the number one thing that you took away from this, or how this gave you some insight and clarity. Much love.